We are going to go ahead and get started. We are recording so we can get this information out to our childcare providers. I'm Ryan Page. I'm the Director of Childcare. This is a new effort from the department to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our customers, and we are providing tools and resources to childcare providers to be as successful as possible when they are working with the department, either through registration or through payments and their childcare assistance provider agreements. So I'm going to quickly pass it off to Emily, who is the supervisor of the team that is going to present today. And then Jordan and Linda, our rock stars, will go through some information for you.
Hi, excuse me. I am the supervisor, as Ryan stated, for the registration and the payment unit. We're going to be presenting today on provider agreements. July 1st, we came out with our brand new provider agreement, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. Jordan will be presenting on it. I'm going to share my screen here, get that going. All right, are we good? Can everyone see it? Okay, all right, Jordan.
All right. My name is Jordan, and I am an administrative support assistant 3 for the state of Iowa in child care registration. Like we've said, we're going to be going over our provider agreements. A provider agreement is what our providers need if they are willing to accept our families who receive child care assistance from the state. So this is the form they must fill out and send in to us so we can get everything together in the system for them. So first, we're going to go over how to submit a provider agreement. There are going to be 3 ways in order for our providers to be able to submit that. The first way is through our portal. And through that, they will go from the Provider Home tab, click for CCA Provider Agreement. It's showing us a picture right here to the side of what you should be able to see. If you are not able to see that button, you might not have the correct role assigned to you, in which case you can give us a call, send us an email, and we'll be able to help you figure out that role situation so you will be able to see that. And the directors or center owners are the ones who will need to be able to get that permission for you to access that. Our next option is going to be via email. You can scan the completed copy of the provider agreement and email it to us at crsacca@hhs.iowa.gov. We'll get it printed out, date stamped, and processed for you. And then our last option is via the mail. You can print it out from the portal, or we can get you a copy, fill it out, and then mail it to us at 2309 Euclid Avenue in Des Moines, Iowa at 50310. When to submit a new provider agreement. For our registered and non-registered homes, we need a new provider agreement at a renewal, so every 2 years. If you're doing a category change or a change of address, any rate changes, or if you are filing under an EIN or you need to do a name change. For our centers, we need it for a rate change of care address only. If our centers are updating their mailing address, we do not need a new provider agreement. Changing an EIN or changing of your legal name on your EIN is when we will be needing the provider agreement for our licensed centers. So this is the page 1 of our new provider agreement here. For the provider agreement, we will need you to fill out either box A or box B. Box A is for an individual where you will be using your social security number. Box B is for your EIN. Box B is for our corporations, partnerships, government programs, if you're a sole proprietor, an LLC. That is who will fill out box B there. Both parts ask for your address and your mailing address. And then on the top for box A is where we'll need the social and then just your first and last name. Box B is where we do require your legal business name. And then if you're doing business under a different name, that will need to go on there as well. And then again, those addresses for you. When starting a new provider agreement and if you're moving your EIN, if this is your first provider agreement, we might request an IRS letter in order to give us proof that your EIN matches that legal business name. So when you go to bill, you don't run into any issues there. We'll try and make it a little bit smoother for you. On page 2 is where you're going to be giving us your rates. We'll need a weekly rate for each age group presented. So we have our infants and toddlers, which is newborns up to 3 years of age, weekly rate there. Preschool is 3 years of age up to kindergarten, your weekly rate below that. And then we have our school agers, who are any of our kiddos who are attending kindergarten or older. We have the weekly rate there, which for school age will be your before and after rate. Whatever you charge weekly will go there. If you offer a summer rate, which is different from what you charge school age, normally that is where you'll put your summer weekly is below in that additional box. We also are asking all of our programs to mark if they are a Head Start program. We'll need you to mark yes or no. We also need to know if you are charging families the difference between what the CCA program provides and what your private pay rate is. You'll need to mark yes or no if you do charge that difference there. And then on the bottom is where we require you to sign it, put your name, date it. We ask that you not attach an additional rate sheet and just fill out the table given. And just remember to put just the one weekly rate per age group. So here are some of the rules you'll be able to find in that provider agreement there. On our page 2, we talk about the client fees. The provider is responsible for collecting all additional fees from a family. That does include the copay. So if a family approved for child care assistance is asked to provide a copay, it is the provider who needs to collect that from the family. Also, if you have any additional fees for a summer program, any special programming you do, field trips, those are on the provider to collect. Here at the state, we cannot collect those fees, including the copay. You are able to bill a child care assistant family the difference between the CCA payment and the provider's pay rate, as long as you agree to that with the family prior to care being provided, and it must be in writing. Going over to billing and payments, that can be found on pages 3 and 4 of your provider agreement. You will complete and submit the child care assistance billing attendance form to HHS for your actual hours of child care services provided. It must be signed by the provider and the parent, and you must keep a copy of the signed form for 5 years. We have an option to submit attendance online through the KinderTrack web portal. You can print the child care assistance billing attendance provider record form for parents and the provider to sign and keep for record. You may also submit billing and payments through the mail. So if you have questions about that, again, email, call us, and we'll be able to walk you through which of those options there are going to be better in order for you to do your billing and receive your payments. Talking more about those payments for our child care assistance families, when we go over child absences, A provider may bill for up to 4 days of absences per month. They must match the units approved for that day, and it only applies when a child is scheduled to attend but is absent from care. Providers may not bill for absences if private pay families are not also required to pay for absences. Holidays may be paid as an absent day only when the child care facility is closed for business. If the child is normally scheduled to be in attendance on that day, and these days are charged to private pay families. Holidays are included in the 4 days maximum per month. Providers may not bill for days of absence when the provider is not able to provide care. Vacation time, sick time, or other closure reason besides a holiday, you are not able to bill those absent days for, and a backup provider for families is never allowed to bill for absent days. Going over some of our special needs rates, parents must provide HHS with written documentation that their child meets the definition of special needs. The providers then must provide documentation that they're meeting the child's special needs. This is required in order to receive special needs reimbursement rates. What we're asking from providers is any examples of any additional equipment, if you are needing extra staff, extra courses or classes you might have your staff take in order to benefit the child who we're providing those extra benefits for. Providers and families both go through our eligibility unit when it comes to our special needs rates. We have down below here our information on how to contact our eligibility unit. You are able to email them at ccapps@hhs.iowa.gov, or you may call our main line at 866-448-4605. Wait for the option 3 when it mentions eligibility, and that will take you to our family side in the queue, where you will wait for one of our eligibility members to answer your call and help you get set up with those special needs forms and any other questions you might have.